Hi, it's Bill Lougheed with Profit Warriors, here again talking about ATM machines, and an ATM machine in particular. This one is named Heidi. Before I get into talking specifically about what makes Heidi special, ATM machines are part of our people, they're part of our processes, our systems, and they're also part of our philosophy. My philosophy of an ATM machine, I think many people have used an ATM machine. If you haven't, then you should go out and use one. ATM machine stands for Automated Teller Machine, and typically it's designed to automate things, particularly access to cash. However, we have one here by the name of Heidi who actually does so much more. One of the most important things as part of the system, we think of Heidi, as many other people think of as an employee. The ATM machine, Heidi in particular, she works really hard. She basically does all the dispensing, does a whole bunch of communication. She says that there's an amazing amount of things that otherwise were done with a teller would used to do face-to-face, which is now automated with an ATM machine. And that's first the philosophy of an ATM machine, is to automate things, to make your life easier. And technically, we call, in Profit Warriors world, we call this life-changing technology. Now, an ATM machine, there's certain areas an ATM machine will not work. If you were to have an ATM machine in your garage or your basement, typically, unless you have a really big party with a whole bunch of friends over, and even then, an ATM machine wouldn't necessarily do the job for you. An ATM machine is designed for high traffic areas, usually retail-based, bars, nightclubs, convenience stores, hospitals, universities, places where there's a minimum foot traffic of usually 100 people per day. And a big demand for cash, items that are consumable items less than $40 or $50 each. That's where an ATM typically does extremely well. Those are the types of places we look for an ATM, and that's where an ATM machine, in particular Heidi, will do an extremely good job for you. The other thing in regards to the system Heidi, what she does is she allows you access to your bank account. Number one thing that allows, we believe, cash. Everybody should have a little bit of cash in their pocket at any given time. Call it an emergency fund. Anybody who has children, you know, or wives, or a family, you know that if in fact you get caught in a storm, it's always a good idea to have cash on hand. So having cash is important, staying out of debt is important, and an ATM machine technically actually encourages that, because presumably it's going to encourage you to have some cash on hand, so for those emergencies or otherwise. It will allow you access to your credit, Visa, MasterCard, Diners Club, but typically this particular machine will work with any major network anywhere in the world. So if in fact somebody has money in Bank of England, the ATM machine here in Canada through the network with Interact, Visa, and or MasterCard will work. You can use your card on this particular machine, and it pretty well takes all major cards. So the nice thing, it gives you access to debit, gives you access to your credit, and it's a great convenience, especially in a time of need, emergency, or just for convenience. The other thing that a lot of people don't understand with ATM machines, in particular Heidi, it's a currency exchange machine. And what I mean by currency exchange, if anybody's traveled, you've traveled to a new country, say for instance if I'm from Canada, I wanted to go to the United States, the very first place that me and my family usually go to is an ATM machine in the United States of America. Because we know if we land in the airport, you notice there's currency exchange centers there. They'll charge you fees upwards of 10% to 20 or 30% of the gross of the exchange, the currency exchange, which could be $30, $40, $50 of the transaction. If someone was from Japan or Hong Kong or from the United States and come to Canada and they use an ATM machine, one of the nice things about an ATM machine, in an automated way through Visa, Interact, and MasterCard, they charge you a wholesale currency exchange. So you don't mark the exchange up at all. So you're not, although you might be charged a fee of $1 or $2, you're not charged a currency exchange fee. As a matter of fact, you're given a wholesale currency exchange. So another reason, especially for tourist areas, an ATM machine does extremely well, simply because people look for it as a currency exchange machine, because they know they're going to get a fair deal. They usually know they can trust the ATM machine, they can trust their bank. It's all part of the network. So that's another thing that most people don't understand about an ATM machine, what makes it very, very powerful as far as time and money-saving technology. The other thing that we have here with Heidi, it's also an information center. probably notice on the side we have a magazine rack with, this one happens to be a bar and beverage magazine. With the magazine rack, we usually harmonize different messages that we put on the ATM machine screen as well as the receipt paper. You'll also notice we have static advertising here as well as dynamic advertising up here, where a person can make anywhere between an extra 10 cents a transaction to $20 a transaction by advertising and or wrapping and or engaging ATMs like Heidi in a more aggressive manner. A lot of different ways to use Heidi as an information center to deliver to your patrons, and those are available on our website, and or if in fact you call us, we'll tell you exactly how that works and how you can make a lot more money with the current ATM machine you might have. The other nice thing about an ATM machine is you get audited financials pretty well daily. Visa, Interac, MasterCard, these are major networks all throughout the world. They provide audited, between themselves, they provide audited financials daily where it's information you can trust. They're dealing with billions of dollars, if not daily. They deal with millions of dollars every single second, and the numbers have to be right. So that's another thing when you're dealing with an ATM machine. And if there is ever an error, which typically they operate 99.99% of the time, they operate perfectly. But if in fact there is an error, then there's always an 800 number on one of our machines where you can call instantly, immediately, to make sure that whatever is the problem, could be maybe a power outage, it could be maybe a communication error, that we will resolve it for you also. The other thing that most people are not aware of is an ATM machine is a money-making opportunity. It's an amazing business opportunity, and if in fact you want to know more information, you can click on our website. You'll click on what we call the Minibank Enterprise. You can get involved either by buying an area, getting involved as a salesperson, as a service person, but typically an ATM machine is something, we're always looking for good partners, people who want to join our team, but as far as an ATM machine goes, if in fact you want any more information just about the ATM machine and or the Heidi program, then you can give us a call, 1-800-755-4435, or if in fact you look on the right hand side of our website, there is a place where you can fill in an application form, and click that, send us an email, we'll definitely get back to you, or give us a call anytime you get a chance. Other than that, thanks for listening and appreciate it. It's Billy Lougheed with Profit Warriors reporting in.